And it's been really helpful to me.
And I could be wrong, but it looks like the Dallas Mavericks is tired of Luka being out of shape. And it's got to be some video out there of him kicking baby seals, because them trading him cost him $160 million.
Not
So,
the seals.
you know, somebody's upset.
You know, I love that clip because that clip tells us the state of the NBA, and that's the reason I like that clip. Plus, I got to call a man Tubby and be validated, even though he's a MVP or whatever. All right, so this weekend was the NCAA baseball regional tournament, and the SEC had a whole bunch of teams in the tournament. And that was cool. It was wonderful until they started falling off like rocks. The University of Florida coach crashed out on East Carolina, and the AD and their assistants and bootskins being bootskins. But they was over there. That didn't bother me. Tallahassee, Florida State Regional, was in Tallahassee. And we invited that school, Mississippi State. And all was fine. They lost an earlier game, and then they had to play Florida State. They had to beat Florida State twice to advance. We have a couple of dudes that can slap home runs, and we can hit and run. And apparently, the people from Starkville didn't appreciate the fact that the hometown fans was making the regional in Tallahassee a home game and expected them to be quiet while Mississippi State was at bat. And that's fine. You can feel how you feel. That's fine. But then they started taking shots at Tallahassee. I'm just going to say this. I don't know who came up with the term Stark Vegas, but they lied. I ain't never heard nobody in my entire life say, you know what? I need to take a pilgrimage to Starkville. Oh, and by y'all won national championship in 137 years of existence. Congrats. Y'all was good at baseball one time. Y'all are bad at hopscotch, checkers, two square, ring around the roses. Y'all can't do nothing right. Why are you talking to Florida State? This is not the fight y'all want. Y'all just going on and take y'all 15-hour bus ride back to Starkville, plant your crops, castrate your bulls or whatever y'all do, and go about your little business. This ain't what you want. Florida State people are petty, as you saw on Twitter. And we got jokes for days. I mean, I could talk how your granny used to like to come to Florida State homecoming, but I ain't gonna do that. That'll be me. That would be me. That would absolutely be me. But again, enjoy y'all trip back home. While y'all on the couch, we're gonna holler at the Super Regional in Corvallis. So, from everyone at Fat Mouth Sports, fuck your dog, fuck your bull.
Damn.
Your school.
Damn.
Highway.
Wait a minute.
Where's the little? We got to get the different one across the screen.
Oh Jesus!
All right. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna add the disclaimer. It's all me. It's on me. It was unnecessary trash talk. We was nice to them people. Nobody crashed out on nobody. Coach, we was nice to them people. Soon as y'all lose, it was all kind of. I mean, blitz. Listen, I'm 52.
All right, Kobe.
I'm 52. So I need to get that out the way. But we do have a special guest. I kept her off screen because we crash out sometimes, so I don't want everybody to get confused and put her in the beef. Like, this my beef. You got beef with me, you got beef with me. But you know what? Before I bring on the stage, to the people that like to email people's bosses to try and get them in trouble, don't mess with my people. That's all I gotta say. Don't mess with my people. Because she's very professional. She gave us your picture. And we haven't asked. We're not above asking. Know that. That being said, we're gonna bring our guest on to the stage. Hey Danny.
Hello, Miss Danny.
Hello.
I want everybody to meet Melanie.
How are y'all?
Oh. I found Melanie because for some reason my TikTok algorithm and my Twitter algorithm, they just end up merging. And she was having a very interesting discussion on the CIAA bid or the failed Charlotte CIAA bid. So I thought, hey man, let's bring her on to the podcast, ask some questions because there are similarities for some other events. So again, Miss Melanie, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
All right, so like I said, I saw the TikTok video.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to the bid, right? Because I thought they were going to make a good faith bid because there are other platforms out there that had been championing Charlotte getting the CIAA tournament.
Right.
And again, I take what everybody says, to be true. However, you brought up some factors that everybody else might not have known about. So the first thing, the Charlotte Hornets arena, they were only going to use that arena for what, 2 years, 3 years?
3 years. It was supposed to be a 3-year bid, but they said that the arena was not available for all those years. So why put in the bid if you did not have availability for the space?
Okay.
Like, make that make sense.
All right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Charlotte downtown is called Uptown, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the events in Charlotte would encompass the entire Uptown area?
Pretty much, yes.
Now, this is where it gets interesting. The hotel rates. The CIAA requested the hotel rates be a certain amount or below a certain amount?
Well, I think at one point they did because they noticed in some of the previous years that people were paying exorbitant amount of fees. And it was when you look at like when All-Star came, you knew you were going to pay extra, but you knew it wasn't as extra when it seemingly surrounds Black people. And when it's mainly us and it's mainly a group of us, we start seeing a lot of different things that we don't see, like when the ACC comes. And the ACC comes right after CIAA. And they did not have nearly as many fees. The hotels were not that they were expensive, but they weren't that expensive. And of course, the police presence, which we already know how that's going to go.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this. I don't know. I guess Charlotte lost out of it because they was being they were arrogant. And that I feel like that's the reason why they lost the bid to Baltimore. And Baltimore had Baltimore ain't Charlotte, but I think Baltimore had a little bit more to offer, and especially those block rooms where they had it that to get them at $200 a night and to block off certain the hotels, the host hotel basically for the floors. So and Charlotte didn't want to play, so I mean, hey, you lost your basically you lost your money right there. there. You lost a lot of your money right there. So
Yeah, because you have to think about over that time span that they were here, that's like $650 million for a couple of days that came into the city. That was, for small businesses, because you had, so many people that set up tables that, may have just different spaces throughout all the other working spaces that were there. And then what people don't realize is the epicenter is not what the epicenter was when everybody was going all those years ago, because that has faced a whole lot of change and things. So the nightlife isn't exactly what it used to be, but it's still spaces for people to have all these different things. But people were coming to Charlotte for the nightlife and not for the games. And so the schools were suffering.
yeah, that's when I read that they moved some of the early games to Bojangles Coliseum.
Right.
And the Hornets had to eat up some of the, they had to eat up the rest of the cost. Hey, I mean,
and when you look at, looking at that and moving it to Bojangles or Ovens, you're looking at the travel aspect, and then you're looking at a whole nother situation, a whole nother area that, most people don't know how to navigate. So, from there to Uptown, that's quite a bit of a hike, especially when you're looking at like ride share services. So now you're getting ready to get, boosted on those as well. So it's like, but again, we've seen the ACC come through here. We've seen All-Star come through here. And anytime it is a gathering of us, it's an issue. Because again, why are they getting charged all these different things on restaurant tabs? Why are they getting charged, on loitering things? Like, how many times do you see people standing uptown? All the time. But we never saw police presence like that. And I mean they destroyed the epicenter before the police got there. But during CIAA, we have police dang near every 4 inches. Now,
can I, anytime you invite North Carolina State people anywhere, it's going to be a ruckus.
damn.
not North Carolina State. Okay, so not too much. My husband did graduate from NC State, so he is a Wolfpacker.
I'm just no disrespect to your husband, but as a Florida State alum, I need you to know that I want their AD tires to be flat every day.
Bro, why would you say no disrespect to the husband and then you come out with the disrespect? Hey, DK, tell him, let him make sense.
I guess we started the segment early.
I feel like, again, it has nothing to do with your husband and everything to do with that AD and that playoff. We don't forget in Florida. Like, one thing we don't do in Florida, we don't forget. But
I understand. But, and I will say this with Charlotte. I mean, we're not going to pretend like they don't have the crime issue, because a lot of people, especially in my comments, were talking about, oh, well, Baltimore has all the crime and all the things. I'm like, but you all don't understand how much Charlotte suppresses their crime. I was like, because please understand, we've had 2 documentaries for gangland, for gang activity in Charlotte. First 48 used to film here regularly. So don't act like, crime does not happen here. And it doesn't, but it still just didn't negate what was happening and how Charlotte handled this. Because I just felt like it was more so not of them really wanting it to be here, but just more of a, hey, we tried and you saw what happened, we didn't get it. I don't really think that they really put forth a serious effort.
Well, that's their fault, though. That's their fault that they put the effort and then they thought they were gonna get it back. Like, and like say, yeah, we made all this and all that, but when you looking at what's going on in Baltimore, that arena is packed from the morning to the night game, and that's every day for the tournament.
And
Like,
that was not what was happening here. And that's what we were trying to get people to understand. And a lot of people in my comments as well, because they were like, oh, the parties. And it's like, okay, but what happened when everybody came to the table and we're trying to figure out why part of the door was not being sent to these schools? Because we know if we do not support our schools, what's going to happen? And we're looking at, overall, like St. Aug. St. Aug has lost their accreditation. So now what happens? When more of our schools fall like this, when we have the opportunity to give them the money that they need, and they're not getting it.
mhm.
So wait. Hold on. I want to make sure we caught that. The CIAA tournament door was not being dispersed to the schools.
No. So what happened was a lot of people were using the CIAA name to benefit their parties, because there was day parties, there were afternoon parties. And so the schools kind of went to the table and were like, look, more people are attending the events than they are the actual games. When there's no one attending the games, what happens? Those schools do not get that money. That's why they felt comfortable enough to say, hey, well, we could do some of the nights at the Spectrum Center, but then we can do the other nights at Bojangles. And no disrespect to the Bojangles Coliseum, but again, at the end of the day, you don't do that to the ACC tournament. So why are you doing that to the CIAA tournament?
And the ACC tournament used to be in Greensboro for a very, very long time.
Exactly. So it's a whole lot of Charlotte has to do better. And I mean, is it more of an accepting thing when it comes to some things? Yes. But a lot of people think it's a lot more progressive than it is, and it's just not. And when things like this come about and, we start speaking on it, then it's just like, oh, like I said, this was a half-assed attempt to say, we actually tried. You did not try, because why would you put in a bid for something that you knew you could not accommodate all the days?
It is an attempt, in my opinion, it's an attempt to make a certain demographic see, hey, we trying to do something. We just didn't get it.
Exactly.
And, the reason this parallel made sense to me, so the Florida Classic was in Tampa for a very long time, but some of the same issues were hotels asking for patrons to pay up front, and we talk about in the 90s, that was brand new. Pay up front. Venues closing. We used to have something called the Tampa Bay Mall that used to be across the street from the stadium. They closed that in the middle of the game. So there were things that were happening that FAMU and Bethune-Cookman are a very proud fan base, and you can't keep doing that and them not respond. And so that's why the game is in Orlando. Now, I have openly said, even though I don't like all the politics of the current mayor, she has done a great job of trying to get Black institutions into the city. She's had the Omegas here, the Kappas, the AKAs have had regionals here. I believe the Zetas are going to have their conference here either this year or next year. But she's done events to try and get Black institutions here. And I've always tagged her and said, all that work is for naught if you don't get an HBCU game here.
Right.
Because you had one of the biggest HBCU games here for years, and we blew it. Not under her. It wasn't her, but we blew it. And now it's in Mickey Mouse land. And the area suffers because it's the small businesses that benefit from it. But you also have to find a way to, if you're going to let small businesses have a microeconomy, the institutions have also got to be able to eat from that micro economy.
Exactly.
So
and my issue with a lot of the fraternities and the sororities that, I had talked to in regards to this, because, a lot of people were like, oh, my frat, did XYZ, and they tried to go to the CIAA, but they had their nose in the air and whatever the case may be. I saw a couple of deals, and I'm not going to call anybody out. But I was like, okay, if your fraternity, your chapter went to the CIAA, asked them, what you could do to be a happy medium, what was the deal? Because what I was seeing was a lot of these people, again, wanted to use the CIAA name, but they didn't want to pay for it. And it's like, at the end of the day, you're hurting how you came to be, because you would not be in that fraternity or that sorority if you did not have that school that channeled, the pathway for you to be there. So now you're basically shooting yourself in the foot twice, because how are you supposed to, do this, but y'all are trying to put all the money in your pocket? But what
You know
about
what?
all of the students that are not getting any?
You know what? That sounds like when we moved the SWAC tournament from Birmingham to Atlanta this past season, and what we saw in Atlanta, different from what we saw in Birmingham, was not, you know what I'm saying? It was night and day. Like Birmingham, you probably had a few people, probably had somebody, auntie, cousins, grandma, or stuff, in that morning, and then it still be almost the same crowd that night. But when you watched the tournament that was in Atlanta this year, you saw everybody. I mean, it was a couple of folks in there in the morning time because of the start time. But when you look at the afternoon and the evening game, it started jumping. And then that championship game was really, on both sides was really jumping. So it's all about optics. It's all about. I mean, of course it's going to be about politics, but in the end, it's about KU market. That, what I'm saying, KU market the game, and the CIAA does market its tournament, and they do a very good job. And I wish sometimes the SWAC could actually do it.
So, this is, again, I hope everybody enjoyed this information, because it all ties back into, we constantly talk about revenue, right? And if we are always having these revenue conversations, but we keep missing revenue opportunities, we're going to keep having these revenue conversations.
Oh, we're absolutely. And what people don't realize is we're going to continue to lose schools.
Yeah, I think more so we got to pay attention to the optics. Like what message are we sending? What kind of narrative can we build that benefits us? Because at the end of the day, we don't even be watching us. So how can we expect to get everybody else to do it?
Exactly.
It's the optics of the whole situation. And, media rights deals, they're always going to be a fickle subject, because you have to cater to everybody within a conference. And if all of the people don't agree, which they rarely do, we're just going around the table and not getting really any resolution.
That is true.
Yeah, because I've started a mini fight about the media rights deals. a mini fight. We are going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back, and we definitely going to talk about the great news that happened today for me, because sometimes God loves me and only me. We'll be right back.
Oh, God.
In the era of Twitter, there is no shame.
We need to bring back
some key issues that Marlo might want to discuss is the quote.
I'll get it.
You was so deep, you moved my IUD.
That sounds about right.
So
obviously, she's used to dealing with a short knocker, and he was not. he didn't have the proper equipment. First of all, this is my whole problem with the whole thing. Why, as a man,
run away.
As a man, why would you call another man and record it just to put it on the internet that you recorded talking to him, that he had then dug a pothole in your wife?
And that is why we don't let Marlo speak.
Bruh, that clip is absolutely insane.
I couldn't hold it in, man. I'm
That was
sorry.
absolutely insanity.
I was trying to ignore it too. You can see
Oh,
me
you
like I'm
trying to
literally
hold it
looking
in?
away. I'm like, yo, he didn't say
TP
that.
wasn't looking at nothing.
He said, bro. He said that. He said it.
Well,
Dug a
Well,
pothole
before-
in your wife.
I had never heard that one.
Nah, I just said I ain't never heard when she was dealing with a short knocker. I was like, hey, yo, man, I know he did not just say this on the.
Man, Marlo, Troy, you need a show of just Marlo isms.
Yeah.
I think since everybody's got that whole trend where they run their episodes for 24 hours, I'm thinking about just putting the whole collection of Marlo, TP, and Doc in a collection for 24 hours and just let it run. Because if y'all understood some of the...
What do I... Look, I told you I'm the good one.
So, I can't find the clip right now.
Hold on, I heard my name. What I do?
I said you
about me,
and I appreciate that.
No. TP had one where we were talking about college football rivalries, and TP decided that he wanted to hit the lead me.
What did I do? What did I do?
So, the only one on this podcast that can act innocent is DK. DK be sitting back chilling. He the only one that can act innocent.
Hold on, time out. What I do?
Man, I'm gonna say this. You ever have somebody cuss you out without ever using a cuss word? That's that.
That's old school right there. You don't need no cuss word.
No, I'm like,
and on your ass.
She think, yeah, cut you deep and not say one cuss word. That's them. That is them.
Troy, why was your day so amazing? Please enlighten us.
Yeah.
So first off, to that Knicks fan who told me I was crazy that we should fire the head coach. Just say, that's a wild way to say that I'm right, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Today, the New York Knicks relieved Tom Thibodeau of his duties. He did an amazing job getting us to this point, but some coaches are mountain climbers and not mountain toppers. We need a mountain topper. We've been to the mountain top when I was, younger, but we keep getting close, but not to the mountaintop. And Tibbs helped us climb the mountain. It's time for us to get over the top.
Bro, that was the nicest way I've ever heard somebody get fired. They said, like when I seen it, I was like, why does he get that kind of respect? When
he got fired on his day off.
Look, you blew a 9-point lead in 58 seconds in the Eastern Conference Finals. You're fired. It ain't no relieve the duties.
What?
Pack your shit and go. You had a chance.
So I don't want to be hypocritical because I do know that in the middle of the Eastern Conference Finals, I openly asked the question, can we have the dude that's analyzing the game start coaching?
No.
At halftime.
I thought you ain't like analytics.
And that should be the coach going forward.
I thought you ain't like analytics.
What?
That ain't no different than when Eric Spoelstra came down and coached the Heat.
So my question to you, Troy, becomes:
I'm just
who's that guy? Who is that guy that you want?
Mike Malone.
Okay, yeah.
Mike Malone.
That's the only one that I can think of. That's fair.
Not Jay Wright. I don't care if they're from Villanova. Not Jay Wright.
He's not coming. No, he's not. No.
It's Mike Malone.
No, Jay Wright stayed his behind in college. He like coaching the
you know what you're gonna get with, you know what you're gonna get with Mike Malone? You're gonna get somebody who's not swayed by the politics of the front office. Because clearly that's what got him ran out of Denver.
basically he gonna tell James Dolan to kiss his ass if he ever run up on him.
So I think that's the only person that I think
I'm okay with it.
I think fits in your mindset, and then just for the Knicks, there really isn't anybody outside of Mike Malone that you could say like, all right, that has experience, that is open to that, like Doc Rivers, all like some of these other guys either have a job already or they're done coaching.
Doc Rivers needs to be too.
So here's the question.
Who? No. Who do what?
I think we gotta wait.
Oh, I thought you were talking about him coming to New York.
No,
look,
that would be
Monday
terrible.
after the finals is over. You're gonna see a lot of people relieve the duties.
No.
So that's when you should start looking for your next head coach, because you don't know who's gonna become available. I get it. You know, Malone is out there. Does he fit? Because he likes to go to the bench. And if the Knicks ain't got a bench, what is it going to look like? He's going to have to play the same way Thibodeau did.
So Melanie is new here. She doesn't understand that TP is trying to get me to crash out. She hasn't seen that yet. It's Mike Malone and nobody else. I don't care what happened on Monday. It's Mike Malone and nobody else. And let's go ahead and address this comment right here. Hey, I thought I was nice in showing deference to Tom Thibodeau by saying that he is a mountain climber. I didn't call him a perennial choker. I didn't call him, in effect, as a championship coach. I didn't call him none of that. I said he is a winner in specific situations, and then teams move on from him.
I think I can answer the question a little bit better, Troy. I think I got you. You know, I use this to compare a lot of other coaches that have been successful but not actually won. You look at Mike D'Antoni. Yeah, he can score some points, but they didn't play defense. Ultimately, what happens when you get to the playoffs? When you get to your conference finals, you got to have both assets of the ball. You can't just be one-sided. And Tom Thibodeau is a one-sided coach, which is why he will never get over that hump, because he did it in Chicago. The same thing when he had Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler and Big Gordon. And in Minnesota. It's been the same story every year with this guy, which is why you move on from somebody who's proven time and time again they can't get it done. Even when he goes out and he has players that can drop 40. Now we can't stop nobody. Like, make it make sense. You can't be somebody that's not able to adjust to the team that you have. They went out and got Cat this year, and you still didn't play him the appropriate way that was the most beneficial for you to be successful. They did not do that.
I love how TP, like the way you took time out your day to get a shot at Mike D'Antoni. My dog. Like, again, they try to
shot at Mike D'Antoni. He feel like they messed up his Rockets.
Bro, I ain't recovered. It's been almost 10 years. I still ain't recovered. And look, and that brings me to my current Rockets. Jalen Green, I get it. Every year he was only 20. Now he only 21. Now he only 22. Like, bro, you can't give us 6 points in closeout games. You can't do that. If you're supposed to be the star player. Star players got to star play. And that's Mike D'Antoni aside, because we've all seen James Harden in game 7s with different teams, so I can't blame him fully for James Harden being that terrible in game 7s. And yes, I took my time to throw a shot at James Harden too, because goddamn.
Hey, the fat suit. He got the fat suit waiting on so he can get out of Houston.
Bruh. Hey, he was truly missed by the
He
strippers,
spent
and
too
that's
much-
it.
Yeah, out of the strip club. Spent too much time
Well,
at
the only
Onyx.
people that missed it when he left.
Spent too much time at Onyx.
Now, Melanie, I gotta ask the question: who is your NBA team? I'm sorry already. I'm already sorry. I'm sorry.
At least
I
y'all got
was
direction, though.
I was a Golden State Warrior fan.
Oh,
Not too much. Not too much.
Ain't no wrong with that.
I was gonna say because y'all got some strong opinions in here.
I like
that's listen.
Look,
That's fine.
I can be very reasonable, even though it might not seem that way. I like Stephen Curry. I appreciate what he did for the game, in his own sense. He brought a different element to the game that we hadn't really seen. Like, yeah, we seen sharpshooters, right? We've seen people that can put the ball in the basket from deep, but we ain't seen nobody that can do it like him.
Right.
Like Larry Bird, Craig Hodges, Steve Paxson, like all those names, they were good at shooting threes. Larry Bird's a Hall of Famer.
Exactly.
But Stephen Curry built the dynasty and did it the right way. He did it with the team that drafted him. He played with the guys that the coaches gave him, and I feel bad that they didn't get there the year before because, a good coach lost his job and lost his chance at a legacy. That's just how I felt about it. But, I say all that to say, fuck Draymond Green.
We ain't got no problem with light skinned Poppy. We good. We good with light skinned Poppy. I'm with TP. Fuck Draymond Green.
Dang.
But look, I have a
he
question.
just misunderstood.
I'm a Mavericks fan.
I think so.
TP brought up a good thing. He made a statement and said that he did it the right way. He built the legacy, the dynasty, whatever, with the team that drafted him. But is there a right way anymore? Like everything is about business now.
Yes.
So is there a right way? Like, or
That's a good question.
Or is it like we gonna do what we need to do to make this money? So is there a right way now to win a championship? Or is
Okay, let's look at the teams that have won championships outside of the teams LeBron was on. They star player was drafted by them.
Yeah.
Even going back to when the Heat won their first championship, they drafted Dwayne Wade.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When the Celtics won, they drafted Paul Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
We can look at Milwaukee Bucks. They drafted Giannis.
Milwaukee.
Denver drafted Jokic.
And
Boston
Thunder
drafted
and Chase
Jason Tatum.
Thunder and Chase probably going to be the most recent, or Halliburton, anyways, is going to be the most recent.
But no, they were
somebody
traded to they got traded to their teams.
Right now, that's what I'm saying. That's going to be the most recent
what?
occurrence that it didn't happen. So that like one of these guys.
Yeah, these two teams are an outlier because Shai came over. He was basically given away because they were done with Paul George. But that will go down as a historic trade, historically bad for the other side.
Right, for the other side. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because you look at the level of value that was, acquired in that trade, not just Shai. Look at the rest of what they got for that in that trade. They've literally built their team off of that transaction. So that's an organization.
It just seems like people don't care, though. You know what I'm saying? And so the argument is always going to be, why would someone stay with one team when they can go somewhere else and make however much more money? So it's so much about the business and not about legacy.
I could tell you with me, I could tell you with my team, the Mavericks. After we lost that 06 finals to Miami, there were teams that was trying to go after Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
And Dirk literally told them no, because he rather win a championship where he started at than to go somewhere else and and you know what I'm saying, to just win the championship somewhere else and kind of build your, your legacy gets tainted. It's kind of like the thing. It's kind of like with it's kind of like when KD went to Golden State. You really think about it. Golden State the year before KD, they lost to Golden State. Golden State was 73-9. You lose in the conference finals game and decide, look, I'm about to take my talents over to Oakland.
Let's not forget they blew a 3-1 lead.
And they blew a 3-1 lead. I forgot about that. They blew a 3-1 lead.
And shout out to Steph Curry. Shout out to Steph Curry because he single-handedly dismantled OKC. Single-handedly. Because after they came back from 3-1, him and Clay, OKC was done. James Harden's gone. KD's gone now. And Russell could never do it by himself. That team was done.
You know what, TP? You make an excellent point. This is a ball up top segment. Because ain't no way we're going to be 15 years away and people still trying to tell me Sam Presti is some genius. Dude, you got lucky. You absolutely got lucky. You make all these trades. Hold on. You make all these trades. Let's go back to Billy Donovan. You hiring him as coach. The day you hired Billy Donovan, he shouldn't be allowed in the Hall of Fame just for that. Just for that. But okay, you hire Billy Donovan and think he's going to get you over the top against LeBron, against D Wade, against Bosh. Really? Okay, all right, cool.
He just went up against Leo
again too. He was still young. They had no business on Chris Bosh. That was never going to work for them.
The failed negotiation of James Harden started the decline of your franchise, right? You lose.
Was it a failed negotiation though? Or
they didn't want to hire. They didn't want to sign him. They didn't want to sign him. But was it the money that he was asking for, and he wanted to become a starter too? We got to have a conversation about small market teams. Small market teams: Orlando Magic, Oklahoma City, Indiana Pacers. They typically do not sign big money free agents. So when they will let them walk or they will trade them and get things in return. But the mothership had this wonderful breakdown of how Sam Presti had made all these magical moves and then now they're in the championship. My question is, as a season ticket holder, I got to wait all these years for you to figure out how to get the job done?
Because you got to appreciate the struggle and the journey because they came a long way from the KD and Russell Westbrook show. And he did matriculate his way back to the finals. Let's not forget that they had the best record in the league last year. They just weren't able to get over the hump.
It was a very quick turnaround.
You know what I mean? You trade away Paul George, you get Russell Westbrook out of there, and you use those picks in conjunction with the acquisition of Shai, and you build a championship team. That's what they did.
But TP, it's basically the same thing that Danny Ainge did with the Boston Celtics. You acquire a whole bunch of picks. You acquire all the assets and say, hey, who wants this?
But they have
whoa.
They have to
time out.
The 76ers tried to do the same thing, and we ain't seen them in the finals. You have to pick the right players still. You have to have the right man on the court coaching them, and you have to have the right chemistry of players to get to a championship. And that takes work. That's not something that just happens.
I'm not, as a season ticket holder, going to sit here and let you tell me I got to suffer through 10 years of bad basketball in order to get to one attempt at the promised land. Matter of fact, I want you to say that outside the arena in front of all the fans and see how fast security need to come get you.
Look, they gonna have to call everybody because I'm gonna stand on. Because look, last time the Rockets was in the finals, I was 2 years old.
I was in high school, bro.
1995. I will wait 10 years of bad basketball if it means there's a final at the end of this road. Because I waited a hell of a lot longer than that. And we still ain't there.
You know how much, I'm with TP, but you know how much bad basketball I watched in Dallas for a decade.
But stop it, y'all had Dirk for 17 years. Don't do that.
I'm talking about before. I'm talking about before we even got Dirk. I'm talking about the 90s. We had bad basketball.
Oh, you talking about the Sean Bradley days?
No, before Sean Bradley. Sean Bradley came in with Dirk. I'm talking about literally. We got, we went 11-71, 13-69, 9-73.
You talking about Jason Kidd and them?
We're talking about before Jason and Jimmy and
he talking about the 3 J's.
Right, we talking about the 3 J's.
Do all that and get a Hall of Famer and a championship.
Yeah, but that's when it happened when we changed when Mark Cuban bought the team.
Listen, we need to acknowledge that Marlo is a season ticket holder on this podcast. And on many occasions, we wondered if Marlo was going to go over the side because he felt like his money was disrespected.
He said he was going to fight folks to jump on the side and fight folks on the field.
So y'all expecting me to believe? So y'all expecting me to believe that people on this same podcast is gonna pay their money for 10 years and it ain't gonna be a misunderstanding in the parking lot? That's all I'm asking.
Hey man, I live in Texas. That's Open Carry State. I ain't gonna fight nobody in no damn parking lot.
Hey.
Let alone outside.
Hey, don't come down to Texas with that bullshit.
Hey, don't do that.
Everybody got guns.
I'm just saying. But again, that the way the NBA, the thing that we didn't like about the NBA, we're starting to see it is not homogenized now. You're starting to see different styles of play in the NBA, which is all any of us old school basketball fans wanted to see. That's it.
You know what we didn't want to see? Boston Celtics missed 73s in 2 games. That's what we didn't want to see.
It was beautiful. What are you talking about?
Not good basketball. On any level.
We hate
they should keep shooting.
That is good. Great that it's done. Fantastic. If it's only
we're
cool with that.
I'm supposed to feel sorry for them? Absolutely not.
No, I don't feel sorry. They right where they should be. They in Cancun because y'all came out here thinking that we about to shoot 75 threes and what?
In 2 games.
And what the analytic guy told you that if you shoot this many, that you got a percentage that you're gonna score this many points. Look, that's the shit that got Mike D'Antoni fired. Don't do that.
TP, they had so many bricks in them 2 games, bro. They rebuilt all Chicago projects in 2 days.
They missed 75 of 100 threes. They can't never say New York bricks no more. Oh man, I'm sorry. I know we got other topics to get to.
They done built a whole new arena with them bricks.
Oh God. Again, I'm gonna say this before we move on. It's always about the analytics until people start to get fight. Nobody has ever seen a line that said analytics guy such and such got fired. Nobody's ever seen that. So keep playing the analytics. Let's see how it works.
Didn't you just ask for the analytic guy to come coach your team? Like, please stop.
You know what? I'm gonna move on. So we have we have the College World Series going on, and currently there is a big story about Texas Tech and their $1 million bet. That $1 million bet has paid off in a College World Series appearance. Now, I don't know how anybody else feels, but I like it.
Guns up.
Listen, if you invest in women's sports more than any other sports pay off immediately. So y'all tell me how y'all feel.
I would say it's, and for me, it's about time, right? Like I think that this has been a long time coming, but I still feel like there's
So much
like
more.
we're in a time where it doesn't matter what Black people accomplish right now. Like they calling her a DEI deal. I almost said a bad word. What? She done struck out you, your mama, and your daddy, and your great granny, and your unborn child. And she what? So I think that it's like it doesn't matter what we do, we still gotta be so much better than everybody else to get the respect and the recognition. She been doing this. We just catching on. This didn't start this tournament. This didn't start this year. She moved schools because she understood the business side of things. She knew that there was an opportunity if she went to Texas Tech. And I feel like it goes back to even what Melanie was saying about how we really gotta support our own, and we gotta show up for our own people and ourselves. Because why are we just getting to this point? Why are we just now getting here and recognizing the value and the worth that's in women's softball? Right? Women's softball used to be one of the biggest and most exciting Olympic sports until they dismantled it. This ain't new. This is not new. But when we don't pour into the things that we should, it makes it seem like this is unbelievable. And all I can say, this is not unbelievable. It's just about time. It's long overdue. We should have been at this point. But I'm
It
proud of
always
her,
brings.
and I'm proud of how she's moving, right? Like
Mhm.
it's business for her, but she's making the right move. So I'm excited for her. I'm excited. Texas Tech is a darn good team. I mean, they just knocked off the four-time defending champion.
Oklahoma.
That's not no slouch.
Oklahoma, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
TP, you happy about that?
You know I don't fuck with them wagon people.
I am so happy for this young lady.
Baker fan. Who you talking about?
Wow. Wow.
It was.
You know what, TP? TP, whatever you got to say, you can say whatever you got to say.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Oh,
Look, I think what this always brings us back to is the 400 head start that that the other side had.
Mm-hmm.
And we get caught in this rat race where we're just trying to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hate for when we are equal or better, because that was never in their plan. That was never in the design. So now we're going against what they designated for us, and that doesn't sit well with us. So, we're going to continue to piss them off. That's just how it's going to work. But the recognition has to be there. You know what I'm saying? The recognition has to be there.
I'm not gonna lie. I would have preferred Florida State knock off Oklahoma because I felt like we had a measure of revenge. But seeing Oklahoma get beat by an incredible pitcher, and it wasn't. And we need to understand, Oklahoma collectively was the best team in America and was taken down by the best player in America. And I'm happy that happened. As a proponent of NIL and player movement, I'm happy that happened. I'm unhappy that my Florida State Seminoles can't figure out that if you invest in women's sports, the nation's leading scorer is not in South Carolina to give them another national championship. So shout out to Texas Tech for figuring out. Ski mask, you know how I feel. It is what it is. We are going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about this NCAA baseball that is such a joy to my heart because it is one thing about spring sports. I enjoy the trash talk of spring sports more than I do football. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the game in Atlanta that is not taking place in Ibetta and whatever. And that. So we'll talk about that. We'll be right back.
I know God might have other things to do than worry about.
Wait. Before you say it, let me say it because he listened to me more than you. The last time you been in the church, they was probably sprinkling stuff on you on the Christmas. But
do not believe that, but go ahead.
Sweet baby Jesus, I know you hear me. I know you feel the heart of a rattler. If you have it in your schedule to just swing on by that Texas and BCU game and just anoint the Texas bats, make their gloves bigger than they were when they first got there. Give the pitcher the arm of thunder. Do it for us now. I think you are
that game. I need Lord to go to Lee Hall in the morning. Fuck all that. Fuck that.
Oh, can we say? Hey, look, can we say the two hottest teams right now in the SWAC is FAMU, and Baton Rouge Tech.
You just renamed the people.
Danny,
Baton
you know me.
Heck,
nobody even say nothing wrong, Troy.
Danny,
that is so trifling.
He called the people Baton Rouge Tech. That's got to be wrong.
Baton Rouge Tech.
Baton Rouge Tech. I will never call them by their name. They the ops.
They the ops.
They the ops.
For the record, I'm not being hypocritical.
Is that why you left the time? That's why you left.
I'm gonna just start calling that burgundy team them wagon folks.
You should, TP. You should.
Some wagon people.
So first off, I want to make sure that it is clear. I am not being hypocritical. That school sits in Coral Gables amongst the HOA. So when I called them Coral Gables HOA, because they really in the HOA. Don't be judging me and comparing me to the rest of them. They just throwing slander.
Coral Gables HOA was absolutely insane. That was wild.
That's true. Baton Rouge Tech is funny.
Insane.
I mean,
am I lying?
Look, I call Prairie View Alta Vista Plantation because that's what they were before they became Prairie View A&M University.
Hey.
Temperature.
You ever seen somebody that you just know they want to pinch? They want to pinch you. That's how she.
That's how she looked at all of us.
She wanted to pinch him. Like she didn't want to punch him or slap him. It was like a pinch. Like say bedroom take one more time. Like when you be acting up at the store and your mama just grab the little fat of your arm. Say it one more time.
I'm gonna name Baton Rouge Tech. I'm gonna name Baton Rouge Tech. I mean, I could call it Scotlandville Junior College, but I ain't gonna do it like that.
Goodbye. Log off. Don't you got to work? You gotta work tonight.
This week, baby. I'm off this week.
Lord have mercy.
Mm-hmm. Hey, me too. Today was my last day, and I'm happy.
Man,
weekend came early.
Oh, you got them black forces on you.
Shit, I should have won.
It's a black force energy up there.
I feel like the SEC is attacking my internet.
Hey,
I feel like the SEC is attacking my internet right now.
I had my black forces on at the Kendrick Lamar concert. I ain't had no problem.
How was that though, for real? I was the show and everything, man.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Can we really honestly say this is
all right, TP,
it's been a whole year since he pretty much destroyed light-skinned Poppy Drake. Like literally. And then on top of that,
BBL
Drizzy. And then on top of that, he goes to Toronto next week.
He does. He does.
He
got a lot of love.
And he ain't gonna do nothing.
Oh man,
look,
Drake ain't gonna do nothing.
50,000 people in that stadium. It was actually crazy. I'm just glad I was on the floor. I ain't have to be up with all. You know what I'm saying? I was close enough to where I ain't having too many people around me. But it was so many folks in there, and it was electric. My wife really enjoyed it. She was almost in tears when SZA came out. So it was a blast. Definitely.
Favorite song from the concert?
Definitely glad.
Favorite song?
Yeah.
That Luther.
Okay.
Luther.
Okay. Before we get into this college baseball stuff, saw some stuff on TikTok as it relates to a black event. There is the Roots Picnic every year. DK, I think I got your background. We have the Roots Picnic is every year. And I've wanted to go to the Roots Picnic every year, but it's always a conflict with some other event. I hate y'all got the internet. I really hate that y'all got the internet because now I'm reconsidering going to the Roots Picnic. Like y'all have completely destroyed the timeline. I don't know what happened. I'm sure whatever happened can't be to the extremes on both ends that all these people are saying because it's all extreme. Like I haven't found one middle of the road review of what happened. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't know one black person who is going to stand in line for 4 hours and then be like, "I'll stand in line for another 30 minutes." I never. But if all of this is true, I am very happy for Jazz in the Gardens. I don't never have no problem when I go down to Miami Gardens. I go to the venue, sit down in my nice seat, go see Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, and I go about my way. By the way, Jill Scott, it's me. It's your boy. When you gonna come on the podcast? The invitation, the doors of the church are open. Anytime you want to come on the podcast, it is open.
If Jilly from Philly come on this damn thing, boy, Marlo gonna have a field day and Troy.
Man, Jilly from Philly. Listen, there are two ladies that y'all can bring on this podcast. Jilly from Philly and Lettucey. I promise y'all gonna see a whole new Danny. Y'all gonna be like, what? Danny done threw her panties on the stage and we ain't even laughing.
I don't know how y'all gonna make it up there because I'll be throwing my fruit balloons.
I'm trying to tell you.
But
I'm done, y'all.
Just finna be draws everywhere.
But listen, let's see. I went to a concert at the Merriweather in the DC area. It was Spirit Fest. They had Jill Scott, Lettucey, Sunshine Anderson, Daly, The Roots, Raheem Devon. I know I'm missing like 4 groups. They had so many groups, it was ridiculous. It was 2 whole days of just neo soul and go-go music. It was let's see. Anyway, but again, it's concert season. Let's enjoy the concert season. Let's have a nice time, be merry, be good to everybody, all that. TP.
And somebody please go get
As
Miss
the
Shirley.
only
That little girl. Miss Shirley, the little girl. Somebody needs to call CPS on her mama. What we got? I'm sorry. That little girl.
It's the only one.
You know what? I'm not, because of the weirdness of that.
It's weird.
I'm not even gonna get into the weirdness of that whole situation because it's just too weird. But TP, we're gonna talk about the SEC, and I know it means more, but it just really means eliminated right now.
Yeah, they took a lot of A's in the first round.
And sometimes you take your L and you go away quietly. The SEC don't take their L's and go away quietly. Kevin Sullivan, the head baseball coach at the University of Florida, crashed completely out because they moved the times of the game. This is not unusual in a regional tournament because there's double elimination. So a team may play 2 games over an 8-hour span. So the next day they may move the time up, they may move it back because they also, especially on a regional, they got media partners that they got to accommodate. So your game may start at 9 o'clock in the morning where you just got finished playing at 10 o'clock at night. It happens. But to be cussing them people out, and this happened in Carolina, by the way. But to be cussing the people out,
it was crazy.
And again, I know this should be expected. Them people crawl on their stomach. I shouldn't be expecting high standards for them boot skins. But come on, man. You're a leader of men. Like we gotta do better. I didn't say nothing wrong, but since everybody want to react to what I said, I put the disclaimer up there. I put the disclaimer up so nobody should be offended. But I don't know. But Mercer played a really good game again. Before we move on, I really want to give a shout out to Bethune-Cookman because their elimination. See what happened when I say something about that school in Daytona? See what happens when I say something nice about that school in Daytona?
It's crazy how that always happens.
Every time.
Like there's something going on.
But that school in Daytona, Bethune-Cookman, in their elimination game, they gave it a fight. But we had that craziness, but out of 16 teams, I think 3 have made it to super regionals. And my son just sent me a text message. That's wild. But going into the super regional, I got some favorites, right? Oregon State, I think it's serious. I did not feel this way going into the regionals, but after the regionals, the fact that we got a 6'4", 245-pound first baseman that can slap the ball out of the stadium, I am now ready to say Florida State should be a favorite. And the fact that his daddy went to FAMU and played at FAMU makes it even better.
Ooh, let's talk about
what did I say, DK?
Nah.
Can we say how UTSA is in the super regional for the first time ever as a program? UT San Antonio.
UTSA. I'm trying. Who did they beat? Hold on. Let's go back. Who did they beat to get in? Hold on. I think they got in on Saturday or Sunday.
You know who they beat to get in.
I can't remember who they beat. Who did they beat to get in? They beat. Oh, my bad, TP. My bad. My bad.
I'll let y'all. About to leave meeting.
But listen,
because I couldn't tell if you was trying to be funny.
Man, it's. I really forgot. I really did forget. I just remember that UT got eliminated. Ole Miss got eliminated by Murray State, 12-11. I'm talking about Ole Miss fans like, "Oh, we back." No, you're not.
It's not Ole Miss. It's Old Piss. It's always gonna be Old Piss, and let it stay like that.
Damn.
Right, that's crazy.
You in the same state?
I don't mean nothing.
Well, I listen on Twitter. I issued an apology on Twitter. I issued an apology to everybody in Mississippi except in Starkville. I wanted everybody in Mississippi to know I don't have no problem with them. Starkville, it's beef. It's absolute beef. But
you got beef with Star Vegas. Can't have no beef with Star Vegas.
Star Vegas gets on my nerves. It does. It gets on my nerves. Every time I hear it, I'm like,
nobody's making. You know what? I said I wasn't going to involve Melanie in the drama, so I'm going to be a better person. But these games, it was crazy. Oregon State beat USC 9-0. Ole Miss, like I said, Ole Miss lost to Murray State. Wake Forest lost to Tennessee. Tennessee and LSU was the only teams carrying the flag for the SEC.
Auburn.
And
Auburn,
did Auburn make it?
Yeah, Auburn playing Carolina.
So y'all go ahead and pack Auburn up right now.
Even though Coastal Carolina got a better record, Auburn is hosting the Super Regional.
It's okay. Y'all can go ahead. Y'all go ahead and pack Auburn up. Y'all can go ahead and pack Auburn up. Coastal Carolina, they got hitting and pitching. So just go ahead and pack the people up. It's Kentucky got beat by West Virginia. SEC people, can we talk? Can we talk? I need to understand how y'all got beat by a school from the HOA. I don't understand.
Keep that same energy in the fall, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Keep that same energy, big dog. And Florida State win 3 games again. Like please.
Boy, he gonna crash out for real. Talking about that buyout about to be lovely for Mike Norvell.
Apparently, y'all ain't see where we sued the ACC and won. We got $45 million for that buyout. And again, I keep telling y'all, we don't give coaches a blank check in their buyouts. We just gonna tell you your key card don't work no more, and we just gonna keep sending your check every month. That's it. Like, I don't know why people get, oh, y'all gotta give him $64 million. No, we don't. We're gonna give him his same paycheck and let him sit home. What? Listen, it's the reason why Leonard Hamilton ain't looking for another job. He cool. He's sitting free for the rest of his days.
He don't need it.
Yeah, he don't need it.
Exactly. We take good care. We take good care. Listen, we didn't pay Jimbo nothing. Jimbo assistant coaches, though, we paid for 6 straight years, dog. 6 straight. They talk about when we fired Willie Taggart. No, when Jimbo left and his assistant coaches didn't go with him, I was sick of people crying about them contracts.
Man,
like,
I'm trying to get one of these DEI jobs so I can get in there, be unqualified, get fired, and just walk away with a big old fat check.
Please.
Apply to be president at FAMU.
Baby, hey, don't start talking about Mega Marvin now. That little comb over wig she got, boy, it still be taking me out. Wig up there looking like this.
Listen,
Marva, where are you going, baby, with that wig?
That way smell like Thunderbird.
It is.
Smell like Newports.
Newports and Thunderbird.
I'm gonna say this, right? Because we have good relations with FAMU Media. But the same smoke that my PWI friends have for the fact that Dr. Ono didn't get the job at the University of Florida, you need to have that same smoke for FAMU being forced to take a president that they didn't want.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep all that same smoke when the Board of Governors come back up in a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Now, if y'all don't see me get no more FAMU interviews, it's because of my mouth. But
and Twitter fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Short Twitter fingers.
Yeah, my tweets
He supposed to be doing codes and he over there on Twitter.
He's a dead horse, as always.
Listen,
he's coming up with new code.
I took I was working, writing some stuff, and I seen Tom Thibodeau had got fired. Like, everybody knew 2 hours before I did. And I was like, for me? Oh, this is Christmas. Again, Tom Thibodeau did an amazing job getting us to the mountaintop. We got it from him. But I want to make this is an absolutely slow news day. I was hoping to have Marlo here when we discussed this, but let's go ahead and talk about it. As the president of Baby Daddies of America, I'll say you about to get evicted.
What's your name, Troy? It's about to be 9 o'clock, so we good. You can go ahead. It's time to wrap it up.
Listen, I didn't have a dog in this fight until I seen the son and the friend had the same habit. What mother say? Somebody gonna have to show me some fight. We fight every day. One of us gonna give up. Like, I'll say, like, you making us look bad, dog. You gotta do something. Cut his tires, something. Anything. Like, Something got to be done, man. This ain't okay. This is not okay. So everybody going to make me to be a bad guy. That's cool. That's cool. I'll be back. It is okay. It's okay.
No, because you said the same thing. Do I need to say it?
Yep, go ahead and say it.
He said the same thing about Russell.
No. Russ ain't never do this. Russ ain't never do this. Russ was good dude. I mean, he was doing too much, and I wasn't talking about the kids. I'm not talking about the kids situation. I'm talking about Russ was normal cornball Russ, and then he got with Sierra. Now he twerking with fur coats on in Africa somewhere. And I'm listen, as a cornball myself, I am happy for him. Every regular dude should be able to pull an R&B chick. That is my thought in life. Look at Tom Brady. Look at Seal. Like those dudes, top tier. They got top tier women. I'm just saying that is okay. I am happy for Russ. Neighbor lady deserves all the blessings in life. He has never done.
So we not happy for Stephon Diggs. We can't be happy for him.
Stephon Diggs got a video out of some strange pink substance. No, we're not supporting Stephon Diggs tomfoolery.
Wait, but that's like everybody in the 80s. Okay. Like you can't do that. Let him live. What's wrong with that?
Listen,
let him have his fun.
Respectfully,
like everybody else did. Respectfully, that we got videos.
I used to love watching Cardi B on Love and Hip Hop with the sound off. That was the best show in America for me.
What the sound off was?
Troy, hey, is it time for the final word? Cause it's time to go. It's time to go.
I'm just saying, but if I ever wake up and my son got the exact same hairdo as some other dude,
yeah, it's a problem.
Y'all know where to find me. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing. But why did you allow that to happen? Why were you not in place so that was able to happen? Because at the end of the day, you can still fight for your parental rights. I work with cases doing this all the time. I actually got a case where the father just got full custody. Mom got something else. So why are you mad?
I am
because here's the thing. She gave Offset too many chances, especially for her to be the person that she is. She gave him too many chances. She didn't have no outside kids, no nothing. Now you mad. And then you know y'all talk about Russ all the time, but it's just like at the end of the day, Future, you mad because why? You do what you're supposed to do.
Hold on, we don't support Future on this podcast. I am a neighbor lady supporter.
Is it not the same thing? Is it not the same thing? Because how do we know that Diggs is not going to step up and be stepdad? You don't know. You don't know. Or he could just be having his fun.
I do not know that.
You better. I'm gonna tell you like this: if he don't do that, he better take a big old look at his brother here in Dallas and see what he do with his kid.
Listen, all I got to say is let people get their back blown out in private. Like we don't have to keep going back. Like take us out the group chat. Go get your back.
Please.
No, you're right.
Listen, I wanted to be all the way out of the group chat for Tayana and Schubert. Like, please take us out the group chat. Please.
Yeah, like baby, go ahead. You wanna sit on a yacht with your booty hanging out, rubbing on each other? Do it. But take us out the group chat.
We ain't gotta tell us. Shoot.
We don't
I'm just gonna say this.
And that's the problem with
Offset was.
That's the problem with the new generation of people is everything gotta be on social media, it gotta be in the news. We don't want to know all
But it
your
makes
business.
money though. That's the thing. Everything is monetized. So if it
Yeah,
didn't make them money, they wouldn't do a whole. I mean, not everybody, because some people just, that's their only means of outside communication, to be honest. But if it didn't make them the money, you think that a lot of people wouldn't, they would keep their business to themselves. But it makes money. I can't fault them for that.
This is true.
It's crazy work to think that lady made money off telling the whole world she not gonna go back and forth with somebody she put fingers in. That is crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Too much information.
Like we don't need to know all of that.
And look, I get it.
I don't need to know that your man is a bottom feeder half the time. That's too much. Take us out the chat.
I got a question. I got a question. When was the last time Offset made an album? He had one, but he ain't done one since Takeoff passed away.
Recite your best
can't
Offset
make
verse.
albums if you love sick.
Gun to
Like,
your head.
Recite
Gun to your head.
Offset verse.
Give me your best Offset verse.
That's
No,
what
give me
the Offset verse. Give me your best.
I don't know. I ain't listen to Offset like that. I don't even listen to.
I think that's the point.
Yeah,
look,
out of all
my head,
videos,
look, they tell me to go ahead and spit an Offset verse. Just pull the trigger.
That's right.
I can't spit one. I mean,
Raindrop. That's all I got for you.
I would listen to Takeoff before he passed away. I listen to Takeoff before I listen to Offset. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you.
I didn't understand what they were saying.
But still, I would still listen to the Takeoff. I still listen to Takeoff's album before I even listen to Quavo's album.
Quavo album trash too.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean,
so basically,
Takeoff was the one that held the whole team down.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they.
And then they didn't get in no trouble. He stayed out the news. He stayed minding his look. What did I say? He sit your black ass down and mind your damn business. That's what he been doing. I mean, but Lord, he left us too soon. So, hey,
well, I guess I want better for him, but if he don't fight back, he got to get out of Baby Daddies of America. Like that's it. Like this is his last one.
He should have been president. You can't wait till the situation is now out of your control to be mad. You know what I mean? I got 3 kids, and I'd be damned if I'm not in their life. The whole.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. As a person who went to court to fight to make sure that he had custody of his kid.
Now y'all know this ain't got to do with them kids. This
it's not about kids. It is about
have no emotional intelligence who just want to embarrass each other.
It's the adults. It was a power struggle within their relationship, and it's still a power struggle outside of them actually being together.
Well, I just
if they keep these shenanigans up.
I just found out from my wife. I just found out from my wife that whenever Cardi B makes another album, that he gets half of the proceeds.
That's why she's waiting to not to drop it until afterwards, because
she fighting litigation.
Exactly. But I mean,
because technically he violated the agreement when he cheated, so he shouldn't get nothing.
He shouldn't get anything. But this is law, and this is where we're facing here. But we also have to understand that, this is America now. This is how it works.
Yeah.
There's no longer keeping your business to yourself. But at the end of the day, you can't be with somebody that's jealous of you. And you can't tell me that man was not jealous of that woman all throughout this.
That's what I was saying.
That's why I'm glad I'm broke. You ain't got to be jealous of nothing. I ain't got nothing to give to you but some press passes.
Oh Lord.
And some of y'all can't even get that. That's all I
Let,
got.
let me look around before I say this.
I'm just saying.
Let me just go ahead and say this. Men, we need to be honest with ourselves. You need to be okay with whatever the success your woman has. If I was Mr. Jill Scott, y'all wouldn't hear nothing from me. I would be quiet. I would play my position. I wouldn't be no problem to nobody.
Be a Stedman, not a Future. Be a Stedman.
Because we'll hear him say nothing.
I'm about to say
nothing.
Also, if you stop doing drugs, a lot of these problems won't happen. So we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna get into party shots. Woo. You know what? You got to stop. You got to stop.
Like, you gonna have to see a therapist about this Florida State thing, bro. Cause
wait a minute. No, we not. You know what, TP? We not finna do this. You know why we not finna do this? Because there's some dude on this podcast whose squad lost to Bethune-Cookman 10 years in a row.
Mm-hmm. And we still have a winning record against Bethune. We could have lost to Bethune 20 years in a row and still would have a winning record against Bethune-Cookman. We still 30.
Ask him his feelings 3 years ago when they lost to Bethune.
Oh, I don't care if we were playing.
No, don't do that. State. No. What was your attitude after y'all lost to BC 3 years ago?
Oh, I was definitely not happy. I don't know nobody who root for a team and they lose and you be happy.
But you gonna degrade me in my outrage.
There has never at any point I said, and I quote, I hope my head coach get hit by a Nerf bus. I'm not finna march the 100 down the street in front of his house, hoping I wake him up and disturb his rest enough that he would want to move and leave Tallahassee. I have never been that angry at any coach staff of my at my alma mater. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is our dislikes of events are different. I will come out and say, I think, fam, you're going to win it all every year, whether they go out and win it all or not. You come out and say, oh, I hope they lose every game. If we don't put up 100 points against Duquesne, then they should be. What?
No. I'm very clear. I support the players 100%.
Yeah, but
I cannot support bad management. I cannot support a bad athletic department. I cannot support a guy whose very resume says, after year 3, I get worse. His resume says this. This ain't something you got to go look up. Check Arizona State. Check Memphis. Year 3, oh, he get worse. Guess what year we in?
Again.
So even if I have unrealistic expectations of him scoring 58 points, they cannot. And by the way, this new media, I gotta be bombastic. But anything other than a prolific offensive showing, come on, man. We can't be in no shootout with Duquesne. We can't be struggling to score against Duquesne. That is no way to improve as a team. But I got plenty of time to say how I want the coach to get hit by a Nerf bus, all of that, whatever. I mean, like TP, if Texas lose to Oklahoma, how you feel? Wait, what I'm talking about? Y'all have some years now.
I'm about to lead a meeting. Where the lead meeting button at? All right, this has gone long enough.
Hey, to say that you gonna send the marching 100 over to the other side of the tracks to disturb the head football coach is diabolical, man.
He should have kept that same nigga. You talking about you were worried about Duquesne. He should have been worried about Georgia Tech, Boston College.
Right.
North Carolina State.
North NC State.
So what's funny about that little comment? When I made that comment, we went to the playoffs. We went to the playoffs when I made that comment, which is crazy. Miss Wright, I know you gotta.
Yeah, I gotta leave, y'all.
Miss Wright, but before you leave us, give us some words of wisdom.
Some words of wisdom is drink water and mind the business that pays you.
Amen.
And if you ain't getting paid for that business, find something else to do with your life. Go play with your kids and not me. I ain't the one or the two. I'm the only. And what you don't understand is that when you try to mess with somebody's livelihood, you finna get cut in the worst way.
Amen.
I promise you, and I'm real nice until I'm not. But baby, don't ever come for me unless I send for you. And when I send for you, I'm paying for your whole way. You getting a ticket, you getting everything. And it's probably gonna be straight to hell. Because who do you think you are coming for me? And I don't say that with arrogance or anything like that. But when you don't know who you messing with, you gonna mess around and find out. Wanted to say something else.
Right.
But we gotta stop doing this to each other. We have to stop thinking that because we don't agree with someone, that means that we're gonna shame them, blame them, disgrace them, defame them, all of that. That seems to be the mode of operation for the emotionally unintelligent. And when you don't know how to handle your emotions, you fly off the handle and think that you can be disrespectful and go after someone who never ever came after you. They asked for your accountability. They didn't make any accusations. I specifically asked for accountability. So an emotional unintelligent, an emotional like someone that has no emotional intelligence at all is always going to look at accountability as an attack.
Amen.
But I will tell you this, I am nice until I'm not. I don't bark, I don't growl or nothing. I'm just gonna bite. I don't play nice. I don't play fair. And when you start attacking people for the wrong stuff because you decided that it's your neck or theirs, baby, you finna bleed out. Cause you getting cut at the jugular.
Preach.
My name, my reputation means a lot to me. So when you come after me, thinking that you gonna go tell on me, you not even a good tattletale.
Just don't know you.
And to be honest, like you literally don't know who you are messing with. And what you need to do is stop messing with people. Because it just takes one person to send an email to all the SIDs and all the media that they're connected with, and you blacklisted. So I'm just gonna say this. These folks, and unfortunately, it's for my case, and I've been quiet about a lot of stuff. I've been dealing with this a lot this year. People like and unfortunately, it's like it's men. Leave me alone. You ain't gotta say nothing to me. You don't like me, I don't care. Whether you like me or you don't, you think I did something wrong or right, whatever you believe about me, you know what? You're right. Even if you're wrong, you're right. Because ain't none of you picked up the phone and called me with any issues that you have with me. Which means if you ain't got my number, you ain't even got a way to, you have no reason to be mad at me because you can't even call me and fix your problem. Leave people alone. and let them do the job that pays them, and you make sure that you doing the job that pays you. Cause some of y'all getting paid to do some stuff that you can't even do well, and you worried about what someone else is doing. Mind your business, drink your water, and work the job that pays you. That's all I got.
Ushers, lock the doors. We need collection plate. It's the collection plate, y'all.
Lock the door.
It's the collection plate.
I knew I liked her. I knew it. It was in my bones, and I missed the majority of this show. I got that. Shit. And this what cuss words you want to say? I say them.
Melanie, this is Marlo. And
Nice to meet you.
I say this every week.
How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, I feel better.
So every week we have party shots, and every week when I do this, it is a risk because I don't know where this is gonna go. This could be a beautiful sermon, or this could get dark. Marlo, sir,
Big Rambo, that's what you say.
The floor is yours.
Well, I feel refreshed. I feel like I heard the voice of my people. Like when you know you got people around you that you feel and you know a connection with, and when it just comes out and it's validated, like yeah, I am refreshed. I want to add to her parting shots. It's a saying around where I come from. He say, "Try Jesus, don't try me." That's what that was right there. Try Jesus, don't try me. And that comes from a place of knowledge and understanding. And I am so glad I got to hear and experience that retort. That was awesome. So yeah, y'all goddamn that school in Daytona. Y'all better try Jesus. Y'all better not try me. Y'all know y'all all too short to box with God. Don't play with me. That's all I got to say. I mean, wow, that was all.
You took time out your day to come here just to take a shot at, you know what? Again, I'm going to say this. Bethune-Cookman has been gracious enough to allow us into their facilities. They have answered our phone calls and emails. It's just Marlo. It's just Marlo.
Bethune-Cookman invited us into their facilities for a reason. They were trying to infect us with the coronavirus. It's very
DK. Nope, DK, what you got for us this week, man? What you got for us this week? Because we got emails. I think you muted, DK.
Okay, my bad. Good call. But so with the NBA season coming to a close, it's been
Good. To me, it's been a cool season. There's been a lot of high highs, a lot of low lows. Obviously, it comes with a lot of there's going to be injuries throughout the course of an NBA season, which nobody ever wants to see. So it sucked to see the Orlando Magic kind of earlier in the season kind of sputter. They kind of found their way earlier in the or later in the year. Sorry, Melo got hurt. Zion always has his strings of injuries throughout the year. Wemby and Dame having the blood clots, which was quite weird because we never have seen it that frequently, that close in time with players. So, but I'm glad that they caught it. Glad that they're both doing better. And then the emergence of some of the younger guys, like now that they've had a year of experience, not just Wemby, but a couple of the other guys, that was cool. And everybody hated on this draft class, but Stephon Castle, he played well, played his role over there in San Antonio. The guy in Atlanta, he was very good. Alex Sarr with the Wizards, he's good. There's a lot of young guys out there. Yeah, some of the older guys like Curry, Durant, LeBron, nobody knows when those guys are going to be done, honestly. But you could kind of see that they're on their way out. That's it, within the next, no way by 2030, any of those guys. So, but with that being said, it seems like that the league with Tatum, Luka, Brown, who knows what Joker could be within the next 5 years, whether he decides that he wants to keep playing or not. But Giannis, a lot of these guys, Wemby, we're going to be seeing them for a long time. And it kind of leaves the question, like, who's going to win all these? Like, there isn't somebody that's like that guy. They're all very good. So let's see if Shea gets it done this year and what comes up next year. But very good season overall. And let's see who finishes it up. But that's going to be my 2 cents for the league.
Melon, as a guest of the show.
Oh, God.
Whatever is on your mind, give it out to the world.
Whatever is on my mind, I really don't. You know what? I don't really have anything. I mean, other than to kind of piggyback on what she said, mind your business, drink your water, and by all means, please use lotion, because some of y'all have ashy attitudes and ashy skin, and I feel like that's part of the problem. And that is all.
Ashy attitude and ashy skin. Hey,
so
heard that right there.
I just, as the resident dark skinned guy on the podcast, I feel some type of way because I have to use Nivea to make sure the moisture stay in my skin. But okay.
Only dark skinned person on this podcast.
He's
not even close.
We feel some kind of way, don't we?
I mean,
hey, pro tip, coconut oil. I be
coconut oil work.
I be shining like a Nubian king. You better believe it. You better believe
it works.
I ain't shined since I had a 4-pack back in the 90s. TP, what you got for us this week, man?
That sounds like a you problem. So there's been this question whether or not having 2 small market teams in the NBA Finals is a good or bad thing, because of they're saying that there's a lack of stars in the final. Clearly, you haven't been paying attention. We got 3 stars I can call right now, because the way Serge Ibaka played in these Eastern Conference Finals, he deserves his flowers. He deserved that Eastern Conference MVP. Halliburton dropping triple doubles, playing outside of his mind, and then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Come on, man. He been playing like this all season. He's played at a superstar level the past 2 seasons. And we're still saying that there's no superstars in the finals. Like, please stop. They play good basketball. They play team basketball. And that's what we have. We don't have a bunch of me's out there. There's a team. And this is two teams that both play very well together, and they've earned them an opportunity to go play for a world championship. I think OKC got the advantage. I think they're deeper. I think their star player outshines the other star players, and it's going to be a good finals. If you like basketball, then this is the type of finals you should watch, because just having guys out there that's just playing by themselves, it might sound good, but it's not really good basketball, man. And there's a reason why we're going to have 7 different champions over the past 7 years, because team basketball has made a return. When Denver won it, yeah, they got Jokic, they had the MVP, but they also had the deepest team in the playoffs. Last year when Boston beat Dallas, we saw that Boston had more guys than Dallas had, and it all came down to depth. We knew what the star players were going to do. What ultimately is going to determine the championship is how well can you play with your entire team or your entire rotation. It's not going to be one player. It's not going to be 2 players. It's going to be a collective of all of those guys working together with a common goal. And OKC and Indiana did it better than every other team this year. So congratulations to them. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I'm leaning towards OKC, but at the end of the day, they still got to go play the game. So tune in if you like basketball. But that's my time for y'all. I'll have more next week, especially Tuesday, because we're going to be 2 games in by then. So, yeah, I'm going to talk my shit that day too. But I appreciate y'all.
Hey, real quick before I go to Doc Holliday. So growing up as a kid, there was always these songs. You never understood what they meant. So there's this one song, right? It is one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. And I never really understood why we sung that song. And when I got older, I realized that it was for the Minnesota Vikings. Well, today, Jim Marshall, great Minnesota Viking, played in 282 games. If y'all remember, Minnesota went to numerous Super Bowls and didn't win. He was on that great defensive line. He passed away today at 82. I want to send shots out. I want kids, fans of football, go back and look at the highlights. Like, we talk about a lot of people. We don't talk about that Minnesota Vikings defensive line, and we should. So to him and his family, our condolences. But this is one that really needs to be looked at, and we'll probably talk about it on Thursday. But Doc.
Why you had to say they went to a bunch of Super Bowls and they ain't win?
He
also famous for running the wrong way to the wrong end zone on a fumble return.
And I'm the problem, but he just the worst moment in his career, Doc. Doc, what you got for us this week, man?
Alec Page, and Carl Elder were. They were tremendous. But anyway, how's everybody doing? So first and foremost, like I said, I want to congratulate my niece, Kristen Bennett, for graduating high school on Sunday from South Oak Cliff High School. She is taking her talents to none other than Grambling State University to study kinesiology and to be a student trainer, athletic trainer for the athletic program. So I want to give a big shout out to my niece. This is my fourth niece who graduated. Very proud uncle. Second of all, I want to speak on Jackson State had a mega camp on Sunday also, and turned out very well. A lot of people, there was a lot of kids that signed up for it. This was covered by 247 Sports and some other recruiting outlets. You had schools like Air Force and Colorado and Of course, the SWAC was in there. You had a couple of Division II schools from the HBC. Had all the Mississippi JUCO schools there. You had a lot of schools that was in the house at the vet. Now, I don't like it when parents say have their kids signed up, but they say, well, we didn't get treated this like this. We didn't get treated like that. My kid should have been this. My kid should have been that. First and foremost, to all the parents, because I'm a parent myself, it is not for you. This mega camp is not for you to be complaining. This mega camp or any mega football camp is for your son or nephew or grandson to go out there and prove himself and get that offer, get that scholarship offer. What I'm gonna need y'all parents to do is sit your black ass down somewhere and shut the fuck up. We had it was another thing where I'm gonna call out Diana Williams from the dance Bring It. Okay, she's a Jackson State alum. Very big on the school. She says she gives money to the school all the time. Her and her husband. They have a son who's going to be a junior in high school. She found out that she talked to one of the coaches and told her that they need to look at her son and offer him because of the simple fact that you give to the school, you give money to the school, you support the school. I mean, you're supposed to you're supposed to support your alma mater. But at the same time, don't sit here and be, excuse my language, bitching and complaining. And where you said you want your son to be offered, yeah, good enough chance to sign him up for this mega camp at Jackson State, at your alma mater. But you decide that instead of him coming to this mega camp, you're gonna go cross country to Los Angeles and go to the USC the USC camp. Where they do that at? Is if all you looking for is an offer or you looking for clout, sit your black ass down and shut the fuck up. Just that simple. Just that simple. It ain't for you. Everything ain't meant for social media. Let your son go out there and earn it himself instead of you trying to raise a fuss and say that the staff of Jackson State, the coaches of Jackson State had put on a piss poor job with this mega camp. But what all I heard from this camp was adulation and professionalism and courtesy, being courteous all together. That's what it's all about. Let these young men go out there and earn their spot. Ma'am, your son is about to be a junior. He got 3 Division I offers right now. He could earn more with his play this year, and he could earn even more by his play next year. But all if you're gonna do is sit here and complain that you didn't get that offer from your alma mater. I just take a book from what Danny just said earlier. Just shut up. Mind your business. Mind the business that pays you. I think that's what you need to do. Mind the business that pays you. But go out there, fly high, do what you got to do. Earn your offer. Earn your scholarship the right way. And that's all I gotta say. So and also shout out to Dr. Little for putting out the Boom schedule. It's annihilation season with the Sonic Boom this year. And we'll see y'all for the Rattlers November the 1st in Tallahassee. It's gonna be a good one. Yeah, be easy.
Wow. Real quick, I'm gonna
No disrespect.
hold on. I want to make sure. I said I was gonna get them. They yeah. Only problem I got with the shirt is it's not actually an extra large, so you need to go a size up. What you was saying, Marlo? What you was about to say? Because you was about to say something disrespectful because you said no disrespect.
It's just friendly competition, brother.
All right. Whew, I guess it's my time. Let me go ahead and put this up right now. He about
to talk about Tom Tibbs getting that pink slip.
No. Real quick. Indiana University currently has a lawsuit pending amongst players because of sexual misconduct that goes back to the Bobby Knight era. Let's
damn.
We still dealing with this. Let's deal with it. I'm gonna move on.
Folks ain't learned about what happened with them.
I am not one of those. Hold on. Give us the grace. Hold on. I'm not one of those people who are I'm not gonna mind my business. I am not a FAMU alum, but I love FAMU. And what is happening in the state of Florida with higher education is complete and utter bullshit. You mean to tell me an educator that spent over 20 years in higher education comes from Michigan, the University of Michigan, was approved unanimously by the Bootskin Board of Trustees, and the Board of Governors grilled him like he was clubbing baby seals outside before the meeting. You fucking kidding me? So let's get some things straight. Like, I know I talk all this noise about University of Florida people, but let's be honest. I'm connected with a bunch of them. I told y'all about their NIL problems before it was ever public. I am hooked into a lot of people with that school. If you want to play this politic game and not give them the person that they want, Ron DeSantis is leaving office soon. All the jobs that are trying to go around the state of Florida, these are payoffs. Marva does not belong at Florida A&M. She does not have the experience of Florida A&M. And even if that wasn't enough, she does not understand the culture of Florida A&M. But that's not my beef. My beef is these UF fans that are throwing up their hands and screaming bloody murder. Where were you at when they was robbing FAMU? See, it's okay when they do it to us. But when they do it to you, it's a problem. At some point, you need to realize that the state university system is a unified system. What's going to happen to you has already happened to FAMU. And if you stop it at FAMU, it doesn't happen to you. Everybody want to talk about kumbaya. We should get over it. No. We'll get over it when you realize what's at stake. Remember, that man told the whole world, I love the uneducated. You have an education cabinet member who does not understand basic math and had it to be explained by a senator. But we're supposed to accept these unqualified individuals that you're putting off on us.
Yep.
And Marva might be a very nice woman. She might be a very nice lady.
No, she's not.
But she does not represent the culture, the experience, the love, and she don't look like none of the people that I ever met at FAMU. FAMU is the reason that I'm able to do any of this. I done told y'all several times, if it wasn't for a FAMU alum putting me in the back of his Nissan, I would have never been in Tallahassee. I would have never been at Florida State. She don't get or appreciate the culture. And I understand very well the consequences of my words, but at some point, we have to speak the truth. Florida's in trouble because they didn't stand up for FAMU. And as many times as I say on this podcast, fuck you and everything you stand for. You need to stand up for FAMU. Oh, in Florida State, you ain't off the hook. You ain't off the hook. You can keep ducking in the corner like it ain't coming for you, but it is. But again, that's my time. We have a podcast together in Old Men on Thursdays, 8 o'clock. Melanie, thank you. Thank you for joining the podcast. Hopefully we didn't get you in no beef. It's all my fault.
But one thing I do want to say, and piggyback into what you were saying about what's happened with Marva being on that board, people really need to realize what happened in 2023 when this happened at Tennessee State. And Tennessee State absolutely passed legislation that they removed the entire board, and it was nothing but white people on there. So if we don't think that any other school can't fall prey like they did, like you said, Florida, y'all better stand up, because if it happened in Tennessee and you have Ron DeSantis down there in Florida, you damn well know it's going to happen there next. They just needed that black face to get in there because they knew that they could not put that white board in there just like they did there. But she is no different. But carry on.
Okay. It's the same thing with us in Jackson State when they put an unqualified person in Marcus Thompson as our president after we done had two diddlers as our president, and he becomes a Diddy fan. And yeah. I tell we on your ass. That's what we gonna say.
Marlo, my bad. I had to keep you from blowing up the business part. My bad, dog. It's my.
I didn't blow up nothing.
That's good because I'm a good friend, and I'm gonna protect you from you like you protect me from me.
What you mean? I didn't say nothing.
Nope. You know what?
I didn't mean.
Listen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for another edition of the Madness Basketball Podcast. We are out.